Wow, I got to play back that little run. Hello, Chris Walker here with Big Angie Fan Channel here in beautiful Hawaii. Back with another in my series of A to Z reactions of songs by Angelina Jordan. I've heard almost all of her songs multiple times, but this is one I've only heard a few times, so it's going to be not totally a review. It's also going to be a little bit of a fresh reaction. We're in the eyes now, and this is It's Magic. It's from Angelina's launch album for her album of the same name. But I remember when listening to this, it didn't sound very much at all like how I remembered the Doris Day song. Oh, and by the way, that reminds me, there's going to be like 3 questions I'm going to ask at the end of this video, and whoever answers those 3 questions correctly the quickest will get a shout out in either my next video or the video after that. And you kind of have to be paying attention to be able to answer those correctly. Okay, so I'm going to listen to this Doris Day version first. It's from a movie, not all the way through, but just let's just see what this sounds like.
You sigh, the song begins. You speak, and I hear violins. It's magic. The stars desert the skies and rush to nestle in your eyes. It's magic.
Yeah, that's all I'm going to play of that, and you can see, well, 2 things. First of all, as we'll hear when we hear Angelina Jordan's version, it's a much slower, less jazzy version than Angelina Jordan's. It's so different that, sometimes Angelina Jordan can totally transform a song, but this makes me think that she was basing her version on somebody else's version. Well, that's one thing. The other thing is, this is one of the things that I like about Angelina Jordan that doesn't have to do directly with her singing. And that is, she quite often chooses these songs that are really obscure or even like out of favor and brings them back, like refreshes them. I remember as a kid, I grew up in the 60s, we were listening to the Beatles and the Rolling Stones, and I just remember thinking that, Doris Day was the symbol of the square older folks, and that was pretty much all that I knew about her. She was this star from the 50s and was really old-fashioned. But listening to this, well, she has a really, really good singing voice. So Angelina Jordan has, reintroduced me to a really good singer, and of course she has her own take on it. But like I said, Angelina's version is so much different that I thought maybe she was basing it on somebody else's version. And one that it could be is this one. This is Della Reese, because I listened to a little bit of this, and it sounds closer to the Angelina Jordan that I recall hearing. Let's check this out.
You sigh, the song begins. You speak, I hear violins. It's magic. The stars desert the skies. They rush, they nestle in your eyes. It's magic.
So that definitely sounds more like I'm remembering that Angelina Jordan's version sounds more jazzy, the phrasing especially is more jazzy. So now let's look at what Angelina Jordan does with it. So this version is superfan Philip, PA1189J. He used the footage from her launch concert for the album, but I think that he, for the most part, was using the music directly from the album, because this concert, did have some sound issues. So in that way, because it's this mix, that will also be pretty new to me. All right, let's go. Put it back to the beginning here. This is like the first song when she comes out for the concert.
Kjære publikum, det er en stor glede å kunne introdusere en ny norsk nasjonalskatt. Ta vel imot Angelina Jordan!
So of course that's the sound from the actual concert.
You saw the song begins, you speak and I hear violins did some magic.
You can see the lips aren't matching there.
The stars desert the skies and rush to nestle in your eyes. It's a magic without a golden bond. Oh, mystic charms.
Oh wow, you're sounding more like Shirley Bassey or somebody like that.
Fantastic things begin when I'm in your arms. When we walk hand in hand, the world becomes a wonderland. Oh, it's a magic.
Well, right away, this song is, especially this version of the song, it's really difficult to sing. I mean, she's not sounding like a 12-year-old girl here at all, both in the phrasing and just, the tonal quality of her voice. Yeah, this is really impressive. This whole concert, it's too bad about the sound quality because it had a ton of great performances.
How else can I explain those rainbows when there is no rain? Yeah, it's a magic.
Wow, I got to play back that little run.
It's a magic. Why do I tell myself these things that happen are really true? When in my heart I know the magic is my
Missed that
love
one.
for you. Yeah, it's a magic. Yeah, it's a magic. Why do I tell myself these things that happen are really true? When in my heart I know the magic is my love for you, for you, for you, yeah, for you.
Wow, that was great. Okay, it reminds me of the second thing that I really like about Angelina Jordan that doesn't directly have to do with her singing. Well, this has more to do with her singing, but it's how she can bring these totally different styles to bear on different songs, even, within the same concert. And it's not like it's an affectation. I mean, it suits the song, and she's so good at it. I mean, her versatility is just off the charts. I mentioned on some other reactions, like Janis Joplin, I thought was really, really superb at doing a certain kind of song. Probably, maybe even better than Angelina Jordan at doing that certain type of song. But then there's like 10 different types of song that Angelina Jordan can sing really well. This kind of Shirley Bassey style is quite a bit different from, say, Cry Me a River from the same concert, or It's a Man's World from the same concert. It's just that ability to change it up, but in a way that doesn't sound contrived. It doesn't sound like saying, oh, look at what I can do. So that's the second thing. Let's see. I guess this is the end here. So yeah, that is one that obviously I should have paid more attention to, because that was wonderful, and it was definitely a distinct style that you don't hear that much from her. It still makes me think that she must be basing it on, maybe there is like a Shirley Bassey version. Because some of those vocals, you know, it sounded like it. I wish I could sing anywhere near as well as she does, but that reminded me of Shirley Bassey. People who are more well versed in jazz style singing might think of some other vocalist that she sounds like there. Of course, she sounds like Angelina Jordan. Okay, the third thing I'm going to say about Angelina Jordan that isn't directly having to do with her singing is the way that she can, and that is, you know, I think shows her, you know, one of the things that's special about her is how she can go from little girl to diva and back to little girl in the space of a few seconds. I mean, here she's running onto the stage, she's drinking her water, and then, okay, now I'm this 40-year-old diva, you know. She had this little video that she announced this upcoming concert, and in that video she sounds like this little giggling schoolgirl, and you know, there's no giggling schoolgirl here. So yeah, so that's the third thing. All right, this was partly just an experiment to see, because I'm looking at my YouTube analytics, and one thing they say is, oh, you want to have like people listening all the way to the end. So for those of you who've listened all the way to the end, can you name the 3 things I mentioned here that I like about Angelina Jordan that don't directly have to do with her singing? And like I said, I will give a shout out to that person, and maybe I'll do something else for whoever is first in answering this. Okay, this has been Chris Walker with the Yankee Fan Channel here in beautiful Hawaii. Aloha.